Because I've been told my whole life, don't never let a motherfucker know who you really are. Some of us come from families where they tell us, don't talk about none of what happened in this house anywhere. Exactly. So a lot of us have been raised in a way that kind of negates being honest right out the gate. How about this one? Boy, I know you did it. Just tell me the truth. You won't be in no trouble. Just tell me, did you do it? I'm not going to beat you. You're not going to get a beat. Just tell me the truth. And you tell them the truth and they beat the shit out of you. Right? So we learned early on, about that truth thing. It's not all of what it's talked up to be when we see what happens to people who tell the truth.
Right.
So now when we're in trouble and we go to somebody to help us, we're going to have difficulty getting down to what we call the exact nature of what's troubling us, because we're looking at how we're going to be perceived and how we look.
Right.
And if the man's not African American, I'm still going to be really reluctant. And if it's a woman, I'm going to be even more reluctant, because secretly I think she want me. And if I tell her all this, she might not want me, because when we're in this place where our ego is out of balance, we think everybody wants us, especially a woman. Black, white, young. We have a problem with that. If she's attractive or young or whatever, so we don't want to reveal who we really are in front of this person because of what we think it may hinder us from doing. Right. So it's all a bunch of sickness. So I'm saying all that to say, I think therapy works best when you're already in the change mode and you're a little bit further down the road. When you develop this sense of how important being honest with yourself is, and the therapy will help you unpack stuff. It won't stop you from doing nothing. Some people think if they go to see a therapist one-on-one, it's going to stop them from drinking and drugging. Ain't going to happen. You're going to stop drinking and drugging first, and you're going to go to the therapist to sort things out so you don't go back to drinking and drugging.
Right.
That's when you go to therapy, to unpack some mysteries that if you don't unpack, you feel like you may get negative consequences in reviving some old behavior because it's just a gnawing on the inside of you and you can't identify it. This disturbance on the inside of you. So I think we use it wrong. We go to it in hopes that it will straighten us out when we need to straighten ourselves out.
Right.
It's to be used to help you unpack your issues once you get to a certain point where you're out of the danger part. Because if we start unpacking stuff too soon, it could send us back to our negative behavior because it may hurt.
We're not equipped to process it.
We ain't ready to handle it yet.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said that, because you may see now, like with black people or black Americans, African Americans, therapy, the word, is now just, it's mainstream. It's everywhere. And we all just want to seek therapy, but I'm like, okay, what are we going to therapy for? What kind of
What's your goal? What's your goal? What's your objective? What's your objective? And here's the craziness today. People are signing up to do therapy over the phone and online, on their laptop. Mm-hmm. And a big part of what I do is being able to sense the energy in the room.
Right. Like for me, I hated Zoom.
Screen.
I was always, let me come see you.
Yeah, that screen. I need to see your breathing elevate. I need to hear that sigh you taking, how deeply you're breathing. I need to see that you're doing it like this. Mm-hmm. You know, because this place that I left, this drug treatment place I was been talking about, where we did the Samson grant on opioids, they had gotten to the point during the pandemic where everything was on Zoom because they didn't want to shut down and lose the money, right? So everything was on Zoom. Clients were taking their drug tests on Zoom.
How do you do that?
If you find out, let me know. So how are you going to test on Zoom?
You can.
How are you going to test?
And that's what tripped me out with, when we went into all Zoom. I'm like, how are we going to, I can't proper counsel on Zoom.
How are you going to test? And they even got to the point where to find a solution to it, they said, clients can schedule to come in once a week to take their drug tests at their scheduling. I don't say, you need to be here Wednesday at 5 o'clock. They tell me, when's convenient, come take your drug test.
That don't work.
Any good addict knows if I pick Friday, I'm still actively using, I'm gonna probably use till Wednesday morning. And if you were to act like I was, I'd be using it until Thursday. And telling myself, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna pass this test. You know how many bribes I've been offered on bad tests? Or how many people wanted to litigate the test? We had to take this B sample, send it away to another lab because they're saying something's wrong with the test. So I just don't see how you can effectively do this kind of stuff on Zoom.
You can't.
But the insurance company, see, here's this what I learned. If the insurance company is paying, that's what we'll do.
We're going to do that.
If the insurance company says I'm not paying for Zoom, then they'll find another way. Okay? So, it's like we are putting too much emphasis on unpacking stuff and less emphasis on action.
Agreed.
Action by the client on their part. You see, this guy told me once, he said, just do what we suggest. You can figure out why later. It's important you know why right now. We just need you to do it. And that's counterintuitive for most men, even worse for black men. Because what I'm hearing is, you're telling me what to do.
Basically.
That's what I'm hearing. That's not what you said. That's what I'm hearing.
Right.
That's how I'm processing it. You're telling me what to do. So I say to those people, look at your life. How is me telling you what to do, if that's what you perceive I'm doing, any worse than what you've been getting? Because if you've been getting good results, you wouldn't be sitting here having a conversation with me.
Right.
You'll be out doing something at your leisure. The fact that you're sitting here talking to me is an indication that there's a disturbance, a good-sized disturbance going on in your life where you got to come listen to a guy like me. It's not what normal people do. They don't say, you know what, I think I'm going to spend 3 days a week for 6 hours a day with Mr. Williams listening to his crazy shit. Okay, that should be the indication something's wrong.
Exactly.
There are better things to do.
Why are you here?
Normal people, they're not doing this. Okay? And it's not up to me to say what you are. It's not up to me to say you're an alcoholic, you're an addict, or you've got mental health issues. It's not up to me to say that. I can simply say something's amiss. It's up to you to figure out how you want to label it. It really is not that important to me.
Right.
What you need to know is something's wrong and you need to do something different.
I call it, well, in personal interaction, I call it the you game. And I make sure I don't play the you game. You're this, you're doing that. Let's talk about it, though, and try to figure it out. But I'm not here, or as I tell them as a counselor, I'm not here to give you advice. I'm here to just throw stuff in the air, and what you choose to grab based off this conversation.
What we say is, if it don't apply, let it fly. But also, I have a little something to go along with that. If it don't apply, let it fly. But sometimes it's best just to keep it in the back pocket in case you may need it later.